Are you looking for an affordable two-way communications for you and your family? Well, take a look at this radio. This is the TD-777S from TIDRADIO. The TIDRADIO 777S features PC programming functionality, privacy tones, all 22 FRS GMRS channels, and 2 watts output. Like I said, it is PC programmable. You do need to buy a programming cable separately. It does not come with this. Let's take a look at what's in the box, and then we'll hop over on the computer and I'll show you how to program this. So again, this is the TIDRADIO, and this is the model TD-777S. So first we get this TIDRADIO card. You get free programming software, 18-month warranty. You can download your software at Walkie Talkie's software.com. A little instruction manual just giving you the basics of what comes with it and how to operate. We get a couple earpieces, obviously the radios themselves. Crack these guys open. Nice, pretty rugged plastic. A couple buttons on the side. And we get our charging cable. This is a micro USB and a USB plug. Got our belt clip, our lanyard strap, and our battery. And then you get all that twice because you got 2 radios. Let's take a look at the battery. So this is kind of interesting. It's got this kind of little almost proprietary battery. Kind of looks like an 18650, but it's enclosed in this case. So it's got a little button right here that says push. Actually, I guess if you push it that way. So we got plus here, minus. Okay, so that just slides in. That's pretty easy. Put that back. Get the other one. And we're in business. Now let's take a walk around the radio. So first thing on top, we've got a couple knobs. This far right one is going to be our power and our volume knob. This middle selector, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's actually numbers around the outside of that, and that's going to change your channel. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we have our fixed antenna. We've also got an LED light here that's going to be off when it's just sitting here in idle. When it's in reception, it's actually going to turn green like that, and when we're transmitting, it'll turn red. On the side of the radio, we have our push to talk or PTT button. The next button is our monitor button. That's going to open the squelch. And then this second button is a scan button, and that'll scan all 22 of the channels that are programmed in here, and it'll stop when it's received the channel. So this radio is on channel 1. 2, 1. Okay. This radio will put somewhere else. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put it on channel 5. We push this bottom button and we can see the green light is flashing. So if I key up with channel 1, it picked it up. Testing 1, 2. And let's see, testing 1, 2. It automatically switched the frequency. And on the right side of the radio, we have our headphone / speaker jack and also our USB connection for charging. So we open this up and we can connect our tactical earpiece like such. And then here's our microphone and PTT that we can attach to our lapel or something. You can see there's a little bitty hole in there. That's the microphone. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. And then it's got this little air tube for your earpiece. This is also where you're going to plug in your programming cable if you want to change any settings on here, like the squelch or your CTCSS tones, also known as privacy tones, things like that. And then we have our USB, which is a micro USB for charging. And then the back is our battery cover, and then we've already seen the battery inside of there. And then here is where we would attach our belt clip. It looks just like that. Now these are programmable by a PC, so let's hop over on the computer and I'll show you what that software looks like. So let's take a look at the programming software, and sorry about the screen recording. I'm not a Windows guy, and I have no idea how to screen record on a Windows computer. But if you go to walkietalkiessoftware.com, you can download this software for the TD-777S. You will need to purchase a programming cable separately, but when you do, download the software, open it up, make sure your COM port is right. We can hit OK. Then we're going to read from the radio. So now it's downloading all of the frequencies that it has in here. And we can see our receive frequency, our transmit frequency. Now technically we can't change these on the FRS and GMRS frequencies. So this next column here is where we would set our privacy tones. And what this does is we'll basically, if you have a tone on for your transmit and your receive, what that's going to do is if another radio is transmitting with that tone on, it'll open up your squelch. So let's say you're in a busy area where there's a lot of walkie-talkies being used. Well, you don't want to hear everyone. You know, maybe you're listening on this channel and talking on this channel. Well, having this privacy tone on is only going to open up your squelch when someone's radio is transmitting this tone. So basically, a whole bunch of people can be using this same frequency. And if everybody's using different tones, nobody's going to hear each other chattering over top of one another because everyone would use different tones. So it's a way to really kind of expand the use of the frequency. So if this channel's on tone 67 and we had another radio that was programmed on this same frequency, but maybe they were on tone 69.3, well, you're not going to hear the radio that's transmitting on 69.3. You're only going to hear the radio that's transmitting with 67.0. So that's a nice way to block out everyone else. Now, that will not prevent people from hearing you. That's only on a receive side. So the term privacy doesn't really mean that. Because even if you're transmitting and receiving with a code, anyone who doesn't have the tone turned on will hear everything. So it's not really private. So here you can change the transmit power from high to low. Now what this compander does is it'll basically compress part of the transmitted signal, and then the receiving radio, if it has the compander on, will decompress it, and that will act as a little bit of a noise reduction. Next we've got this scramble function. So this will actually scramble your voice. So only radios that have this scramble function on will be able to understand you. So that's pretty neat. That's a good security feature. And I'll just do a quick test to show you what it sounds like when the scramble is on. Pressing and pull, pressing and pull. Check 2, scramble function is on. This is scramble. So unless you have scramble on that radio turned on, that's what you're going to hear. And if the scramble's turned on, it'll unscramble that. The next thing we have is frequency hop. So you can either turn that on or off. Again, both radios need to be on this. And what will happen with this is that the information that you're transmitting from radio to radio, the frequency is going to keep changing channels. So just another security feature in there. And then lastly, you have the scan function. So if you want to have all of these channels on when you're scanning, just leave them all on add. Otherwise, you can delete them from the scan. So maybe if I don't want channel 1 scanning, you just hit delete, or whatever channels you don't want scanned, you just delete them out, and when you hit scan, it'll skip those channels. And then lastly, up here under edit, if we go to optional features, here's where we can adjust our squelch. So maybe I want my squelch, it comes default at 5, maybe I want it at 4, or maybe we're in a high noise environment, we want it higher. Here's where we can change that. We can change the timeout timer. So basically this is how you would set the radio to time out. So if I push the PTT button for longer than 60 seconds or whatever I set this for, it'll automatically stop transmitting. And this is a good thing for accidental things. Maybe you're sitting on the radio and accidentally pushing the PTT, it'll automatically time out. I usually keep mine at 90 seconds. And then we have voice prompts. We can turn them off, or we can have Chinese and English. This is important to have on with this radio just so we know what channel we're on, because we just have that dial. We have battery save, beep, and warning. If we long press that bottom button on the left, it'll give out a warning siren. And then here's the Vox function that would be useful when using the earpiece microphone. So we can set the Vox level, or we can have it off, and then we can set the delay time for how long it takes before the Vox actually turns on. And we can hit OK. Whenever we save everything, all we need to do is hit right again, and it's going to write all that stuff to the radio, write succeed, and it's done. Very simple. And now let's give a quick audio test.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. This is a test of the audio of the TIDRADIO TD-777S. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Check 2, sibilance, sibilance.
So there we have it. A quick look at a nice, budget-friendly, rugged, programmable walkie-talkie from TIDRADIO. I'll leave links in the description to where you can pick this up. They sell these in 2-packs, 6-packs, and 10-packs, so I'll leave links for all of those. And I'll leave links to the website where you can download the software. Until then, thanks so much for watching another episode of K8MRD Radio Stuff 73.